The NFL Combine is ended. Free agency is about to begin, and we're here to complete a full first-round mock draft. I'm Ryan Wilson, CBS sports draft analyst, host of With the First Pick podcast. I'm joined by Pete Prisco, senior NFL writer at CBS Sports, the face of CBS Sports HQ. He's been covering the league for more than 30 years. All right, Pete, we're going to power through these picks, alternating order. You guys can drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know how we did. I'm going to start, Pete. I'm the Chicago Bears, and then you have the number 2 pick, and we'll be off and running. Pretty easy for me. I'm not going to overthink it. I know you're not as high on Caleb as me. Whatever. I don't care. Caleb Williams to the Bears. Done and done.
Wow. Okay. I got the second pick. So I'm going to take the best quarterback in the draft class. I'm going to take Jaden Daniels from LSU.
All right. We agree so far. Don't hate it. You're not worried about his size?
Well, I'm always worried about size. You know me. All I have to do is go back to last year and tell you how you could see how worried I was about size with the first overall pick.
Sorry I brought that up. All right. The Patriots at 3. I had a mock draft come out on the website where I had JJ McCarthy going here. I'm not going to get that crazy. I'm going to go with Drake May. He has some flaws, but all these quarterbacks do. So let's go Drake May, third to the Patriots. They cannot come out of this draft without a quarterback. So 3 picks. 3 quarterbacks. This feels like a layup with a wide receiver position, unless you're going to get saucy here, Pete.
By the way, I wouldn't do this. That's not what I would do, but I'm going to take Marvin. Since this is a mock, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals.
You can do whatever you want. What would you do?
Take Nabers. I think Nabers is going to end up being better.
Well, take him.
No, this is a mock. We're trying to.
This is your mock, though.
No, we never really put the parameters out there before this. Is this what I would do?
Yes, this is what you would do. This is what you would do.
I would take Nabers.
Then take Nabers. I'm glad Debo didn't take
Nabers.
Yeah,
I'm taking
that's
Nabers.
Okay. Own it. Don't be afraid of your opinions.
Believe me, I'm not afraid of my opinions.
And I'm glad you did that, because this is really saucy now for the Chargers, a team that has a new head coach. He likes to run the ball. Greg Roman's back as offensive coordinator. He likes to run the ball. But they have Marvin Harrison Jr. staring him in the face. I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chargers. What do you think about that?
I think, look, either one of those guys, they're both going to be good players. I just prefer the one who's a little bit more shiftier in the middle of the field.
Yeah, but if you're the Chargers and you have needs the offensive line or tight end,
I'd still probably go in that direction.
Okay, good. All right, you're up. You're Giants.
Now I'm stuck with the pick that I don't like anybody to this spot.
A Dunze, offensive tackle. You got a ton of things you can do.
Yeah, but they don't need an offensive tackle. They have a left tackle in Thomas. They drafted Neal in the first round, and after 2 years, you're giving up on him. And by the way, he's been hurt the last 2 years. He played hurt, so I'm not giving up on him. So
all right,
for anybody who wants an offensive tackle there, I'm not taking one. So I'll probably take a Dunze there, and I don't love the pick, but I would take it.
What's not to love about a Dunze?
I don't think he runs that well.
Oh my gosh! All right,
I just don't. I don't think he plays to his time. That's just me. I like him. I don't love him.
You'll admit he played better in 23 than he did in 22.
Much better. Much better.
All right, we're on the same page there. All right, this is
Daniels, 2 most improved players from year to year.
Okay, all right, we can work with that. Now the best team in the league, according to Pete Prisco, with the future Hall of Fame quarterback and Will Levis, are on the clock. This is best case scenario for them, Pete. The only question is who they're taking. I like Olaf Fashanu better. I'm going to take Joe Alt because he's a little more technical right now. I think Fashanu has a chance to be the better player. Joe Alt next to Peter Skoronski's last year's first-round pick and getting somewhere in terms of keeping that poor Will Levis upright. I think he has a chance to be not quite Bryce Young, but close. All right.
You put Alt and Skoronski on that left side, you're going to be okay over there.
Yeah. Just need to find a quarterback. All right, you're up.
Yep. They have a quarterback. They'll have a star. They have next Josh Allen at quarterback. Falcons need pass rush help in the worst way. I'm going to go with the best pass rusher in this class. I'm going to go with Dallas Turner. You know how I feel about him. I think he's special.
No, I don't disagree with that.
He's one of those guys that's best football's coming on the next level.
That's okay too. Yeah. No. Are you assuming Kirk Cousins goes to Atlanta? You're not into JJ McCarthy here?
I'm not taking JJ McCarthy there.
Okay. So this is interesting.
I think the first round's too high for JJ McCarthy. Okay, I'll put that out there.
That's fine. No, that's right. We've talked about it, and that's where you are. I think a team will take a team should take a risk of the. What?
Take him. He'll get taken. I just wouldn't take him.
No, I was going to say that I think bottom of the first round is probably where a team should gamble on it, but he'll get pushed up probably inside the top 10. So this is interesting. All 3 wide receivers are off the board for Caleb and the Bears, so it makes my job a little easier. A lot of times we've talked about edge rushers here to pair with Montez Sweat. Producer Debo, give me Jared Verse.
Done.
Yeah, like Montez and Jared. That's a problem.
Yeah, I think you that would be a good pick. Although I do think they're going to sign one in free agency, so that will make this moot. But you're right. I mean, they got to get another pass rusher for sure.
All right, the
So
Jets at 10.
Jets have to take the offensive tackle from Penn State. They have to. I mean, that's a given. I take him right there in that spot. Becton, free agent, didn't play well. Got to get a left tackle.
Elijah Bear Tucker comes back. Is he inside or out on the right side?
They haven't decided yet. You hear a word that they're going to maybe play him wherever they can get guys. So I think they play both.
All right. So as we sit here, Kirk Cousins free agency hasn't started. They're rumbling that maybe he's not coming back. Maybe he goes to Atlanta. If I'm the Minnesota Vikings here, and Vikings fans are clamoring for this young man, I'm going to take J.J. McCarthy.
You
Why are you
can.
shaking your
I
head?
wouldn't.
What would you do?
I wouldn't.
Take Latu or something? Cornerback?
I'd consider Latu in that spot. No question about it. I'd consider him.
All right. Russ Wilson is now gone from Denver. They are on the clock. Sean Payton typically doesn't like young quarterbacks anyway, so maybe JJ would not have been an option here, at least not to start right away. What are you doing?
This is a tough one for me because I don't think they're taking any of the quarterbacks who are left in this spot. They have needs all over the football field. But this is a tough one. Yeah.
And by the way, before you answer, they just cut Justin Simmons right before we did this podcast.
But he's 31 years old and didn't play that way as well last year. So I'm not. By the way, if you drafted a safety in this spot, you'd be out of your mind.
Can I give you a suggestion?
Yeah.
What about Cooper DeJean, cornerback, but who has the ability to?
They drafted the other kid last year.
Right, Riley Moss. Well, they love Iowa cornerbacks.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking Cooper DeJean there. What do they? The question is, what do they do with Garrett Bowles? Because they could make him take a cut or not, whatever. But you know what? This is a tough one for me. You can never go wrong taking corners, edge rushers, and tackles, though. So give me. I'll take Latu there.
All right, Latu. I get it. Denver Broncos. All right. Oh boy. I think what I'm going to do here for the Las Vegas Raiders, they have, of course, Max Crosby. Malcolm Kuntz started to come on a little bit. They have Tyree Wilson, who hopefully healthier, a year removed from the foot injuries, it plays a little better. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to take Byron Murphy, the second out of Texas. Super twitched up defensive tackle. Best defensive tackle in this class. Still no cornerbacks off the board, by the way.
Yeah, and New Orleans could use a corner. So
they just cut Michael Thomas, or they're going to. We just found that out too. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, but they're also they might cut Lattimore or do something with him too.
Is that money related?
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm going to take. Let me see the edge rushers who are left.
Brock Bowers is still out there too, Pete.
They flopped on edge rushers in a big way.
Yeah, Peyton Turner didn't really work out. Brian Brzee was good on the inside last year.
Yeah. You know
Hit the
what?
edge button, Debo. What are you doing? There you go.
You know what? I'll take Mitchell.
All right.
Can never have enough corners. He's the best corner.
When I mentioned Mitchell, excuse me. Yeah, QB1, last till 14, which is crazy. Debo, give me the wide receivers. These Colts fans are clamoring for wide receivers. Pete's guy, Alec Pierce, didn't work out. Told him, but he didn't want to listen.
Well, he's and you know what? The guy they just franchise tag doesn't run very well.
Yeah, I heard you don't like Drake. Not Drake London. Michael Pittman Jr. Excuse me.
He's okay.
But you do like Brian Thomas Jr., so I'm going to take Brian Thomas
him.
Jr. Let's take him at 20. Let's take him at 15 to the Colts, Debo. Brian Thomas Jr. at LSU. All right, Seahawks are up.
Let me see their edge guys that are left. There's not much left there.
There's some guys. Chop?
Yeah. How about the interior guys? There's not a lot there either. That's the problem.
You got Johnny Newton, Devondre Sweat. That's a little rich for me, but I love Johnny Newton.
That's
quarterback, maybe?
I don't like it. Who are they taking? Which one are they taking? The hometown
Penix
kid?
is next up for me. I don't know where you are on Penix.
That's a little high for him. Their offensive tackles are solid, young players.
Interior offensive line? Yeah, there's a guy.
Who?
Oregon.
Yeah. They're okay there. How about interior defensive line?
Johnny Newton's probably your best bet.
No, you know what? How about their tight end position?
They have Fant. They got rid of Disley.
Fant's out there though, free agent.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah,
then,
I'll put Bowers in there.
all right. I like that. Man, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jig with DK, and then Brock Bowers. All right. I'm laughing, Pete, because as we're doing this, the Jaguars are at 17. I have to make their pick. They just signed Ezra Cleveland to a $2 billion contract. What was the thinking there?
Well, they got him last year, and they love his athletic ability. I wouldn't have done that, but they did it.
Okay.
They're gonna add a center in free agency, I think, too.
I'm gonna get a cornerback. You okay with that?
Yeah, oh yeah. You got to take the kid from Alabama.
Terry and Arnold. You got it. That's a layup. Great player. Could end up being CB1 by the time it's all said and done. You're the Bengals.
New defensive coordinator. You have to take a corner in that spot. They let Darius Williams go, so yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. It's a good pick. Bengals. I'm going with the right tackle. I'm going to go right.
Well, we got some dudes. Amari Mims, J.C. Latham.
Yeah, I'm going to take Latham. I think he's a little sounder than Mims. Will have more upside. Latham, I know he's going to plug and play and start right away, so I'll take Latham.
Okay.
He starts at right tackle immediately.
That's right. I agree with that. All right, Debo, let's see some edge rushers. Got some thoughts here. I might go secondary. I don't think I'm going to go interior offensive line. Do I want to go interior offensive line here?
Well, they have free agents on their offensive line. The right guard is Kevin Dotson is a free agent, and also the center's a free agent.
Oh, gosh. All right. This is going to screw my Steelers with the next pick. Well, let's go Jackson Powers Johnson.
I like it. It's a
Oregon
good pick.
center. Yeah, he's going to be a great player. All right, the Steelers are up, and I'll just mention briefly because as we're doing this, news came out earlier from Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette that the Steelers are interested in Russ Wilson. How do you think that works out?
Why?
Okay,
terrible.
we agree.
It's a disaster. The Steelers need a center, but this is too high for the rest of those centers. Unless you can wait and get. It's a good group of centers, by the way. You can get one in the second round.
Can I sell you on Broderick Jones' teammate from a year ago, Amari Mims at right tackle? That I love. They need edge help. They need cornerbacks. There's no linebackers. I don't think you're going to take in the first round. They need interior defensive line guys.
Interior defensive line guys. It's not a great group either that's left.
Yeah, there's Johnny, and that's it. And he has a foot injury.
Yeah. You can never go wrong with corners, but they don't usually draft them that high, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's Chad. Oh, gosh. What was Chad's name out of Maryland in the early 2000s? He was their corner in the first round.
No, you're talking about Davis.
No, 10 years before him, 2002, I think. Can't remember his last name. But anyway, Chad Scott. And then last year, they got Joey Porter Jr. at 32, which happened to be
Sean Davis.
Sean Davis is the guy that you like coming out of Maryland about probably 10 years ago now.
Didn't work out. You know what? Give me the right tackle. I'll take him. There's only so many big people on the planet who can play football
and move like that. All right. So I took. Oh man. All right. Let's see what we're going to do here. The Miami Dolphins at 21. Debo.
You got to take an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think so. Now the question becomes: I'm going to take. Let's take Tully Fuaga, and if you need him, kick him inside for a year. That's fine. But you'd kick him inside for a year, and then let him. They're going to lose the right guard and their center. He's a great player. All right, Debo's Eagles are at 22. They need a quarterback.
Oh wow,
that's a joke, Debo. All right, they do need a lot of help. Debo likes corners.
Say they need a new head coach too.
You didn't say that when Big Don was on the set.
They need corners. I'll take. Wiggins doesn't tackle well. You know what? I'll take the Cooper DeJean. You know why?
A good pick.
If I have to play him at safety, I can play him at safety.
Yeah, and Debo liked him when he talked to him at the combine. I think Nate Wiggins tackled better this year. All right, this has been one that I've been doing. This feels like almost like a layup because it just seems to work out. I'm taking Chop Robinson here for the Texans at 23. Pair him opposite Will Anderson.
Yeah, they get because Grenard's going out the door as a free agent, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and even if you bring him back, it's okay. You can never have enough pass rushers. So Chop Robinson opposite Will Anderson Jr. for the Texans at 23. 24, the Cowboys. They have some needs as well. Both sides of the ball.
They need a defensive lineman in the worst way, but the best one is Newton that's left on the board. And he doesn't fit. They're big. They need to get bigger. That's the problem.
Yeah, he's actually not even as big as Mozzie Smith.
You can't take Devondre Sweat here either. That's too high for him.
Yeah.
I mean, This is a tough. You know what? What tackles are left?
I would take Troy Fatanu and kick Tyler Smith outside and kick Troy inside
That's what I would do. I'd take. No, you know what I'll do? I'll take Guyton.
Oh gosh. What are you going to do with Steele at the right tackle, Terrence Steele?
I think he played right tackle, but that kid can play. He's a former basketball player or whatever. He's got athletic ability. He can go play left tackle, Guyton.
Okay. Next up, Green Bay Packers.
Steele stunk last year, by the way, when he came back from injury.
I get it.
So if I had to play him right tackle, I'd play him right tackle.
All right, the Packers aren't one to take offensive players in the first round, at least recent years. So let's do Nate Wiggins. He stared me in the face. I love the way he plays. The fact that he's here.
They got to upgrade their cornerback position too.
Yeah, he's big and long. He was a better tackler last year. He did improve there, but he's a shutdown corner. Ran a 4.28 or something crazy. All right, Mike Evans is coming back to Tampa. Baker is probably going to be coming back pretty soon. They're picking 26, Pete.
Yeah, this is hard because the interior of the offensive line isn't great, but they drafted there. They drafted Mock. The center, there's not a center worth taking right here. So
there's Graham Barton.
Yeah, unless you decide to take Graham Barton and play him somewhere on that line. And I think defensively, you look to the other side. I mean, you drafted a tiny defensive lineman last year. You're not going to take another one in Newton. So that doesn't make any sense. The cornerback position, they got guys there. Yeah, this is a tough one for me. But I'll take Barton, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Playing center. Their center was a problem last year.
And who replaced Ryan Jensen after he got hurt? It was Hainsley, right?
Yeah, Hainsey.
Hainsey, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Robert Hainsey. He's a problem. And left guard wasn't great
He's
either.
A problem. All right, 27. So you took Malik Nabers at 4. They're back on the board. Man, you know what I'm doing? I'm taking Troy Fautanu. And you can sort out whether Paris Johnson Jr. stays on the right side and leave Troy the left or whatever, but you're getting more help for
they got
Kyler.
injuries. Humphrey's coming off an injury too, so.
All right, so the Bills have cut everyone in the building except Josh Allen. Their fans really want a wide receiver 28, Pete. What are you doing for Buffalo?
I'm giving them a wide receiver. Let me see that group who's left. Mitchell's left. Worthy's left. Who else is left?
Keon Coleman.
I don't. They can't take a little receiver. They got to take a bigger receiver.
Well,
I'll take Mitchell.
I was going to say, staring you right in the face there.
He can run, and he's big.
And he can run all the routes, too, which is nice. Next up, the Detroit Lions at 29. So, Johnny Newton's still sitting out there. I'm going to take Johnny Newton. I like the idea of putting him on that defense. That defense has gotten better in the last year or so with Aaron Glenn as the defensive coordinator. Next up, the Ravens at 30.
They'll just draft the best football player no matter who it is. So who do I think is the next best football player for them? I would probably take Robinson, the pass rusher. I think he's got – on their defense, they can move him up and down, and he can play outside, he can play inside. I'll take Darius Robinson. I think
he feels like he could be an upgrade over Jadeveon.
He's going to be a steal in this draft.
He ran a 4.95. I do not care. He's such a good player.
Either.
All right, so now the 49ers are on the board here. Look at the edge for me real quick, Debo. So Braswell, Marshawn Neal. I'm not going to take him. Adisa Isaac.
Too high. They're too high, those guys.
Yeah, so let's go back to the offensive tackles because they need to fix the offensive tackle position.
Well, the right side. They don't need to fix the left side.
Right, yeah, clearly. I'm going to take Jordan Morgan here out of Arizona. Maybe a tad high. He's coming off the ACL. He's like 16 months removed. He had a good season last year. I think he's going to get better. And I like that pick there to solidify the offensive line. And finally,
I'll take Worthy here.
You didn't even hesitate.
They need to get more help outside in the passing game.
So why Worthy? And Rick asked me this question. Rick Spielman asked me this question early in the week. Why Worthy over Ladd McConkey?
I just think he plays faster.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's before we wrap this thing up, Pete. My favorite pick of yours, and then we're gonna switch things here. You know what? I like the idea of Rome Odunze going to the Giants. You were hesitant on that, or you weren't crazy about it? I think you have to give Daniel Jones weapons. This is his last year. They're not drafting a quarterback here. So I'm going Rome Odunze to the Giants. I think, like you, Giants fans don't want another.
That's your favorite pick of mine. My favorite pick of yours, or you picked the corner to go to Jacksonville. That was smart.
There you go. Got one right. Jacksonville 17. Took Terrion Arnold. All right. The biggest question mark for me, for you,
would be. Let me see. Keep going. Let me go up and down. I'll tell you which one is for you.
They're all home runs. Oh, there it is, right there.
McCarthy,
number 11.
Yeah.
The Vikings take J.J. McCarthy. What are they supposed to do if they don't sign Kirk Cousins then?
Well, then you're desperate and you might take him.
I think that's where
Here's what I got to ask you. Do you think he's that much better than Michael Penix?
No, I don't.
Then why didn't you take Penix? Because everybody else says to take J.J. McCarthy. You sheeped yourself. Bah, bah,
Yeah.
bah.
Just to be clear, sheep, SHEEPED.
Yeah, you're sheep. You're a sheep. You made yourself a sheep like everybody else.
Scroll down a little bit, Debo. Let's see what else. You know what? I'm going to go at 32. Just playing devil's advocate. You took Xavier Worthy. I obviously love the type of player he is, and I think in that system it's a home run. But I think Ladd McConkey is probably a better player overall, more consistent. I don't know if Ladd goes in the first round. I get all that. Keon Coleman's someone I like. He ran the 4.61. I don't care about that because he actually timed fast at the combine in the gauntlet drill where he was actually asked to catch passes. You don't want a big receiver there. Was Rashee Rice your big receiver? Is that your thought process?
Yeah. How about I would have considered I consider corner here too, but I don't want Kool-Aid in that spot. So
yeah. If Jalen Guyton had been there, would you have taken him over the receiver?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that makes sense as well.
Yeah. They got to get a left tackle.
Yep. All right, that's a record.
Ryan, what would our pal Rick Spielman say about this pick at number 4?
Oh, well, he's a huge Marvin Harrison Jr. fan, and also
he doesn't work for LSU.
Well, the other thing, and Pete, you pushed back against our buddy Rick Spielman on this as well. Neither Malik nor Marvin worked out at the combine. Marvin didn't even show up for the media session. Malik did. Do you care whether these guys get weighed or go through the drills?
They should get weighed.
What about going through the drills?
No, doesn't matter.
I don't care either.
I mean,
that's one of the biggest
it's all
pushback.
a great myth. But as far as Harrison, the one thing that bothered me just a little bit about him, and I think he's going to be really good, don't get me wrong, is when people pressed him and he got their hands on him at times, he was covered. I mean, and then he won a lot of 50-50 balls because he's such a big guy. He's great on the crossers when there's, but there were problems in games where he got pressed. I didn't like it. But don't get me wrong, look, you're splitting hairs. I just like a guy who has a little more wiggle in the middle of the field. You would agree with that. Nabers has more wiggle.
Yeah, no one would disagree with that, I don't think. And the other thing is, like, depending on which team you are, if you took a Dunze or Nabers over Marvin, at the end of the day, Justin Jefferson was the 5th wide receiver drafted. We don't know. We just don't know.
No, you don't know about any of these guys. Until you get on the field and actually start playing, you have no idea. How's the money going to affect them? How's being a professional going to affect them? How's being in the locker room with grown men going to affect it? There's so many things, so many variables. You have no idea. So as all the work that everybody does and all the psychological tests that Rick Spielman always props up, you have no earthly idea how a guy's going to handle a situation.
I think wide receivers are wide open. I mean, Marvin's the favorite. Offensive tackle is wide open. Edge rush is wide open. Cornerback is wide open in terms of who may go first. And at the end of the day, 3 or 4 years from now, it may be the 3rd guy or the 4th guy that ends up being the best. That's how tight. And let me ask this: does this class feel deeper at the top than recent classes? Because it feels deeper to me.
No, it's deeper at some spots. Deeper on the offensive line, I think. It's deeper. I mean, because we pick the center in the first round. You can get the Frazier kid out of West Virginia in the second round. You can get the kid from Wisconsin in the second or third round. I mean, there are centers. You can get guys. I don't. You get the kid McCormick from South Dakota State that I told you about. That's going to. I think he's good. He plays left guard, but I think he's going to go play center. There are guys. The North Carolina State center later in the draft. So I think you could get a center. So would I take Barton? Probably if I was desperate enough, but I think I could probably wait for that.
I feel like once you get to pick 25, sometimes you have to squint to find 3 guys that you take after that. I think they're like 15 to 20 guys you could take between pick 25 and 32.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
In that sense, it's different.
I mean, like some of these guys, like we didn't take the corner from Missouri.
I love him. He's a little undersized, but I don't care.
I think he's probably going to go in the first round.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Ennis Rakestraw. All right.
Yeah.
4.5 quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks go in the first round?
5.
So Penix or Bo Nix or who else?
I think Penix will find his way in.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think Penix will find his way in.
Or what?
Or he could end up going ahead. Somebody might like him more than they like J.J. McCarthy. And then
That's true,
J.J.
too.
McCarthy's the 5th one.
Yeah, that's right.
The J.J. McCarthy phenomenon is amazing to me. It just is.
Is it more or less amazing than the Bryce Young phenomenon from a year ago for you?
No, that wasn't everybody. Most people had him as the top guy.
Okay.
Wouldn't you agree?
Not
I
you.
was out on an island with Levis. I mean, look, and most people did that. C.J. Stroud is the top guy either, even though in revisionist history they tell you they did.
No, whatever. I mean, we got the internet. That's not true. And that's the other thing. You just don't know. He made throws at Houston that he never made for Ohio State.
He's like Dan Marino. He was never as good in college as he is now. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
But again,
I agree.
like I always say, let's see you do it again.
Well, he's going to do it again. You said that about Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy did it again.
Will.
Yeah.
He will. I think C.J. Stroud's special.
I do too. He's the best quarterback in that division.
Yes.
All right, there you go. You heard it there first, Debo. Trevor Lawrence off the Pete Prisco bandwagon. All right.
Well, he didn't play very well last year.
He's going to get paid.
Well, you have to pay him. Damned if so's Tua. What's he? I mean, he doesn't show up in big games. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
All right, that's a wrap. Mock drafts in the books. Don't worry, we'll be back with more mock drafts like these in the coming weeks. In the meantime, check out With the First Pick wherever you get your podcast. Thanks, Pete.